My wife said no more sex, then freaked out when I found it elsewhere, and now I'm divorcing her while she's begging me to stay. A few months ago, I asked for relationship advice. Basically, my wife decided unilaterally that we were done having sex. She found out that she couldn't have children due to a choice she made before we met, and apparently, children were the only reason she was willing to make love. I love my wife and enjoy being intimate with her, but it was making our marriage untenable. After 2 years of this situation, I posted for advice. I received a lot of support and suggestions on how to talk to my wife. I tried many of them. I also started going to therapy by myself, but no matter how I approached the situation, she would not try to see things from my point of view. Every discussion ended with her crying and screaming at me, accusing me of trying to emotionally manipulate her. So, I wrote her a letter expressing my feelings and asking her to come with me to therapy or to seek help for herself or to see a doctor. I was kind and loving in the letter. The last thing I wanted to do was upset her. I worked on the wording with my therapist to make sure I wasn't saying anything aggressive that could be misinterpreted. She read the letter and then wrote with a red marker, "Go get it elsewhere because you are not getting it from me," and then she walked out. I sat there for about an hour doing nothing. Then I told myself that was what I was going to do. We are both fairly successful in our jobs. I'm not super attractive, but I'm fit and a good talker. It took a while, but I met someone. We started as just friends, but it became physical. I made sure she knew I was married. She is not interested in a relationship, so I guess I am a safe option for her. My wife found out because I didn't try to hide it. She was crying when I got home one night. When I came in, she asked if I was going to leave her. I said no. Then she asked if I was cheating on her, and I said I was getting sex elsewhere. She said that was cheating and I didn't disagree. I asked her what she wanted to do. She said I had to stop. I asked her if we were going to start making love. She said I was an irrational idiot if I thought she would have sex with me after I cheated. I went to my desk and pulled out a photocopy of the letter I had written with her response on it. I went to take a shower and then to my room to sleep. When I woke up, she was sitting on the couch waiting to talk. She said she had reread the letter and realized she hadn't read it before. She assumed it was just a letter begging for sex. She said she would go to therapy alone and with me, all I had to do was stop getting sex elsewhere. I said I would be willing to pause my friendship until we saw a therapist and that if I saw progress in our relationship, I would break it off. She said she wouldn't agree to therapy unless I left the other woman. It almost turned into a fight, so I just went for a run. Before I left, I asked her what would compel her to go to therapy if I stopped getting sex elsewhere. When I came back, she still didn't have an answer. She couldn't even say that our relationship was worth saving. I don't want a divorce, but I am willing to leave over this. I am 28. I'm not going the rest of my life without making love. She refuses to see my side. Update: I told my wife that I had broken off my relationship with the woman I was making love with. I did this because she said she wouldn't agree to go to therapy unless I did. After I told her I broke off my relationship with my friend, she refused to go to therapy. She said I was her husband and I didn't have the right to her body or to get sex elsewhere. Since I lied as a test, I think you can guess I already knew she was lying. We are getting divorced. She deserves to be happy with someone who is okay with no lovemaking in the marriage, and I deserve a life. I have moved out and am moving forward with my life. Thanks for all your advice. Story 2. My fiancé, 26, and I, also 26, have been dating for 4 years and we're going to get married in November. I really loved her. We had a great relationship. We made life plans. We were very serious about our future. However, after what my fiancé said a couple of nights ago, I'm not sure about our relationship anymore. Our 4-year anniversary was a couple of nights ago, and we invited my sister over to celebrate with us since she was the one who introduced us to each other. My sister and my fiancé are best friends. We were having a blast. We ordered food from a really nice place, had drinks, and were having a karaoke night. There were lots of laughs and jokes, and it was a really nice atmosphere. By midnight, I was pretty drunk and was watching a movie on television, while my sister and my fiancé were sitting on the couch talking and joking about things. But I overheard my fiancée talking about her ex, saying that he was emotionally abusive and that, even though she climbed him like a tree and he was a great lover, it was a relief to get rid of him. I remember the conversation becoming slightly awkward after that, and my sister didn't laugh and my fiancé just stopped talking. What my fiancé said didn't really register at that moment because I was extremely drunk, and shortly after, I just crashed and slept on the couch. However, when I woke up, everything registered in my mind. I felt extremely hurt. My fiancée immediately apologized for what she said that night, but I told her I needed some space. After a few hours, my fiancée apologized again, and she cried, but I told her I didn't feel like talking to her and I just needed some space from her. I spoke to my sister about it, and she said my fiancé loves me a lot, but she understands where I'm coming from. I told her that I'm worried my fiancé views me as a safe and stable choice, and that's not something any man wants. Every man in a relationship wants those raw, passionate emotions, but it doesn't seem like my fiancé has them for me. I'm not sure I want to be in this relationship anymore. I understand my emotions are raw, but I don't think I'll ever get over what my fiancé said if I stay with her. Relevant comments. Have a conversation with her. If this is making you feel insecure, ask her questions about what she likes in the bedroom and if you can improve on anything. It was an unfortunate comment, but the reality is you are a great partner. Her ex was not. Other people might be better in bed than others, but it didn't sound like that's what she was trying to say. It sounded like she was trying to say the only good thing about him was the sex. If it's bugging you that much to want to end a 4-year relationship, do what you have to do, but I recommend having a conversation. Story 3, Ben. I am still trying to process an exchange I had this morning. I was sitting on my balcony having breakfast, and there was this woman I've never spoken to walking her dog. We don't know her, but my roommate and I see her down there pretty much every day. She's around our age, I would guess, so either in her 30s like us or maybe in her 40s. We've never exchanged so much as a hello up to this point. I really like my apartment complex. It's cute and pleasant to walk around, and the only thing that really sucks is when people don't clean up after their dogs. It's so gross, and I hate when people don't do it. You're a grown-up who made a choice to have a pet, and that comes with responsibilities that you have to keep up with. Most people around here do clean up after their dogs that I've seen, so we know it's just a few bad apples. If I see people who don't look like they're doing it, I call them out, which I know comes with risks, but come on people. The response is sometimes defensive, sometimes a bit of twisting the truth like, oh, I was just going to, but they all know they should be doing it anyway. This woman had her dog right by our balcony, and my friend and I were just chatting until I noticed the woman walking away without cleaning up. So, I said in a tone more polite than the situation probably deserved, "Excuse me, are you going to clean up after your dog?" And she said in this snotty voice, "No, I'm good, thanks." I immediately burst out laughing, though not in a good-humored way, because I couldn't believe the audacity. I said, "Wow, that's really pathetic," which apparently was more than she'd expected me to do because she came marching back. I have to imagine most people don't call this woman out for her to have that kind of immediate anger. It makes me think she's kind of spoiled and was angry I'd embarrassed her, but she clearly knew I was right because she had to come back and double down. So, she comes running at us with this kindergarten logic and goes, "I'm not the only one who doesn't clean up after my dog. Lots of people don't clean up after their dogs." And I was like, so, how does that absolve you of adding to the problem? She keeps going on about how other people do it too, so I said, "Cool, then give me their names, let's have a list because I don't see any of them right now." And she's like, "Open your eyes and figure it out for yourself." I was like, "That's what I'm doing right now." She keeps shouting that she doesn't have to do anything she doesn't want to and she doesn't care what I think. So, I was like, holy crap, I have never met such an entitled person. It's insane to me that you're getting this angry over someone expecting basic decency out of you. And she says, "No, you're entitled." I burst out laughing again and said, "I clean up after my animals. Me telling you I don't appreciate you leaving messes on our shared property doesn't make me entitled. You're a grown woman who knew what responsibilities you'd have when you got a pet. There are tons of other people who don't want to see your dog's mess. You're not the main character." At this point, I feel like this woman has never been confronted beyond her first snarky response. I have a bubbly and friendly tone normally, so she probably had expected to have scared me or shocked me into silence with that callous initial reaction, because she is practically melting down trying to upset me while my friend and I laughed. She gave me a snarky, "Have a nice day," and I wished her the same in an equal tone. Then she walked off in a very exaggerated, cartoonish way. It was bizarre, but she didn't clean up her dog's mess. Similar continuation follows.